Okay, so there we go. Just get the phone all squared away. Okay. Right then, it's 2 minutes. Hello, welcome everybody. Let's see what's going on here. I think I have. Sorry, I'm just currently. Okay, right. So the music's a little bit loud. Okay. Okay. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I've got to put. Hopefully that's a bit better. So welcome again. We'll just finish up doing the last bits and we'll get going with carrying on with Andor. I've got a new mic, you see now, so I'm having to see if the microphone audio is much better. There we are. That's what we got done last time. Just do this shenanigans. Okay, yeah. We were just checking that the audio is all working okay. I know. Okay, let's get this all squared away. So everything's okay. Because it seemed to work okay. Everything earlier was fine. Okay. Well, you'll have to let me know if you can't hear me very well, and I'll have to try and rework it. Maybe there's like a setting or something that I can do, and that makes it a bit easier. Oh, sweet. Okay. Cheers, Sharp. Hey, nice to see you again. Right. Okay. Let's get a move on, shall we? PlayStation's about to take off at this point. Oh, I don't know if I'm way too loud. Oh, is that the Ahsoka 2-pack of Anakin and Obi-Wan? No, Anakin. Is it Anakin and Obi-Wan? Anakin and Rex? Because I know they just released that new one. Lebbies. Oh, okay, cool. Right, yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, okay, yeah, I get you. I get you. Right, so this is where we got to last time. We've got the boots all done, which as we know is my favourite bit. The legs are all done, the belt's on. I repainted this this belt just off stream and then put it back together. And we've got left to the builds currently at the moment. We have the vest, which is going to take the longest part about today, and then we've got the arms for the leather jacket underneath, and I've just got to do this neck peg, which I forgot to do, but luckily it's a base colour that we did. The shirt, so there's no danger of basically getting the wrong paint mix. So we'll put this guy out of the way for now, so he's out of the way and he's not going to get any paint on him whilst he's doing the rest bit. And let's crack on. So let's check my airbrush is working alright. So I just need to adjust my camera so I can see that everything's all framed alright. Okay. Yeah, okay, seems alright. Let's get some water through it so we can make sure that it's flowing alright. Pipettes boost. So we'll have to get a new one. Oh my god, 2 left. Amazon to the rescue at some point, I reckon. Okay. Somebody's having a roast dinner today. I can smell it outside. Okay. That seems to be all good. Oh, we got that. Okay, that's through. And let's get this underway. Spray like a thin veneer of Vallejo light brown. I'm not going to be doing any paint work to the skin for this one because the customer's got a custom head, but I'll be sending it with the stock head anyway. Alright, okay. Hopefully see the fades and whatnot with that. I've upped the resolution, so hopefully the quality will be a bit better today. So I was watching the replay and I was like, oh god, it looks a bit ropey, but to be fair, the internet in the house has not been the greatest over the past couple of days, so it could have been that. So just unmask this, and then we'll get it on the head via the neck peg. Spray there. So there's a bit of overspray. Sweet. So let's get a tiny bit of, you know, my favorite, brush magic. Tiny bit. Dab off the excess. See, there's a bit of overspray. Just wipe it away a bit. It comes off really easy. Hopefully you can see that. So you don't need to go stupidly mental with it. brush magic. Ease that off. Okay, nice and neat. Give that a quick blast and we'll get it on the neck peg. Right. So, paint his collar. I love the way that they do these new neck pegs now for the Hasbro figures. So much better. So we've got his body, we're going to put his neck onto it now. So I'll just, some very enthusiastic children outside. You don't hear that. Clearly everybody loves Andor outside. Let's give it a quick blast of hot air. Oof, that is warm. Give it a bit of elbow grease. There we go. Nicely all colour matched up. So that one, to do the shirt, is that light brown, as we talked about in the last stream. Hey, sausage. Tiny touch up on that one. Come back to that, double check everything later. So now we'll move on to doing the jackets. Hey Gunga, nice to see you again, buddy. Right, okay, so we've done that. Now we're going to start doing the leather jacket. Now, that I do remember exactly. You know it sounds familiar. Good old Republic Commando. Commandos, here to come save us with your superior training. This commando might be the only thing between standing between you and a bloody death. Where is my NATO brown? So we need to find NATO brown. Aha! I've often wondered if any of the Republic Commando books are actually worth having the old read or listen to on the audio books. Last decent Star Wars audio book that I did pick up was the From a Certain Point of View book. Some of the stories in that were really good. Some of them not so much, but you can take it's a eclectic mix of some good, some bad. It was like that back in the day with a lot of the old Star Wars Tales books. If you remember those Dark Horse comics that they used to do back in the day. Remember one of the Star Wars Tale comic books where it was a stormtrooper stuck on Endor. Mix that in, some airbrush in it and paint. And we can start getting this pass on out. Just dab, dab, dab. So we've got our nice shadow and highlights baked in. Okay, there we go. So you can still do this method of the highlight pass if you wanted to via hand painting. Dry brush on the white layer, and then you could do thin passes on the top colour. I'll come back to that because the paint is quite watery, which is good. I'm just not going to jam up my airbrush too much. And I love doing this because, like, when you do the shadow and highlights pass, it just really just takes a lot of the effort out of it. Cheers, Beta. Welcome. Thank you for stopping by. So we have. Sorry, I've got my forbidden kebabs up here. Out of the way. Being the old Vlad the Impaler stuff. Gentle mist pass. I noticed that when I looked at the replay earlier on, because I mentioned Bob Ross briefly on the last stream. Okay, what the hell's happening with the video there? Now, is that my phone that's doing that? Or is that the internet? Let me know if it's my end or your end. Okay, so these are the upper arms of the jacket. We'll have to come back to this anyway because he's got like these kind of stripes down the outside of the jacket. Let's get these arms. Alright, pretty decent. One arm left. Paint. I'm gonna have to do some weathering, I think, on this one. Spotted something a bit sure about. Okay. So you can see how that's working. Because the arms getting the jacket would be really easy to get done. as soon as we've got it sorted, this will be like very much like a mixture of doing a lot of hand painting and airbrushing and washes and everything, because obviously there's lots of different details and stuff. So as we talked about last time, we had different types of blue. So last time I think I didn't use cobalt blue, no, because that was had a metallic kind of tint to it. And I'm fairly confident now that I look at the paints up here. Yeah, we used US Air Force light blue for this one, so that will be the base color of it. Then we've got obviously the compad in here, which is going to be like a metallic color, bits of like a yellowy kind of bit here and here. We've got this data cylinder, and then we've got all the webbing and everything that's around here, along here, plus the zips, and then the leathery jacket that's behind it as well. It's coming through the collar. So lots of little bits to hand paint and what have you. Get on the go. I'm pretty sure I think my phone's charged. Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate that. I was very happy with how this turned out. Okay. Look at this jacket. Just do another thin veneer pass on this one. It's looking a bit dull. Okay, like this. I suspect it's the other one. It's got a nice gradient to it. Shadows and everything. So that's quite good. So yeah, we'll put that one over there. We'll say that one's, I don't know, maybe a bit more. In certain lights it looks a bit too faded. We don't want it looking too faded. Okay, that's probably a little bit better. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And the other one. Last one. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Right. Okay. So, give me a minute. I'm just having to check that my phone's alright. See, it keeps doing funny shenanigans. Hey, Beb! Thanks for popping by. Put that down. Yeah, Cassian Andor. On his Rogue One outfit when he's at Yavin, as well as Edu as well. Although, doesn't Edu, I think on Edu he might, does he have his, no he doesn't have his fur jacket on Edu, does he? Okay, so, let's just get my kebab sticks out of the way. My workspace a bit more friendly, and let us consult the Siri reference. No Siri. Okay, so I should probably bookmark this one, shouldn't I? So it's got like a light khaki stripes down there. We won't bother painting in between all of them, because I think we could probably get away with that by putting a brown wash over them or go in between them. And then we can move on to doing the vest and stuff here. Visual guides. Oof. Like I was saying to Cameron Custom, some of the newer ones are a little bit disappointing, but these old ones are amazing. Also, I had a heart attack the other day. You know, it's been almost 10 years since Rogue One. As of next year, I couldn't believe it. 10 years. Like it doesn't feel that long ago. I genuinely could not believe that. I remember going watching that in the cinema, like it was yesterday. Going to the Trafford Centre's midnight release of all the Star Wars films. That was a pretty good experience. Yeah, I went my favorite bit when I saw Rogue One in cinema. I was with the 99th Garrison at the time when we were trooping at the Trafford Centre the night before the film came out, and the costume that I was wearing at the time was my Rebel pilot outfit, and it was mostly because like I'd done the Force Unleashed one the year before in my Stormtrooper outfit, which was pretty cool. And then this year I was like, oh, I'll do my Rebel pilot outfit because I knew there was Rebel pilots in this one. And when I was in the cinema, I was sat in my costume watching it at midnight release because massive nerd. And I kind of like completely fanned out when the red and gold leader came on screen. So cool. I was like, oh my god, they've used the archive footage. That's so cool. And then the ending, of course. It's just... Oh boy. Vader did not mess about with that one. So we're just going to give it a bit of heat. And we're going to mask off the areas to do these arm stripes. Yeah, I thought that as well. It's like, please stay close, Red 5. Where are you going? It's like, he's going to die. Garvin Dre's Red Leader, the absolute Chad. Really sad story about the actor who played Red Leader. Really sad. In his old age, he was in a nursing home, and unfortunately passed away on a really horrific way. He was eating something, choked to death because no one was looking after him. Just so sad. And we just lost a gold leader as well last year, Angus. He passed away last year, or was it this year? I can't remember, but it was recent. I must admit, I noticed the chopper just because I hear that. And the reference to St. Harrison Dula over the Tannoy as well. We were talking about Rebels yesterday in terms of like how it's such an underappreciated show. So I'm glad that we're getting a few more Black Series figures to represent Rebels coming out from Hasbro at the minute. Not because obviously the new animated show that we've got coming out at the minute is the Darth Maul one. With somebody said that it was Darth Talon. Not 100%. I don't know if that was. Yeah, it was. It was an acquired taste initially, but and I think it didn't help that the season one. Season one was very. I want to say childish, but that might be a little bit of a loaded kind of phrase. But it did feel very juvenile in the first season, but then quickly picked it up. Which, to be fair, I would often say the same for the Clone Wars as well. I feel like maybe animation like shows have like a bit of a first season problem, but can't really say that for Bad Batch because the first season there's some pretty dark moments. Yeah, it was such a rough watch. Like, you stole all this from melons? Yeah, that's like, oh, yeah. Although it did give us the glory to the Empire song, so it's not all bad. I used to watch. I used to like watching the Rebels Recon stuff that they used to do as well. I always thought that was quite cool when it came out. Back in, when did the Rebels come out? Because obviously Lucasfilm got bought out in 2012, I think. And Rebels was the first thing that they did after Disney bought Lucasfilm. And we got the Black Series actually started as a wave in 2012, if I remember. The first, it was announced in 2012, I remember that. And then I think we got the first figure in like 2013, which was the Luke one. I just remember working at TT Games at the time. And we were working on Lego City on the Wii U of all platforms. And yeah, I remember seeing on IGN them saying, "Hey, this is new action figure line coming out." That was the Black Series, which looked really cool at the time. I was like, "Oh my god, look at all that! It's premium quality." It still is to a part, but you look at some of their head sculpts and paints back in the day, and they were a bit fun. But you know, it was 2013. Oh, I think the original sculpts were done in wax, traditional way, whereas they're all done with like ZBrush now, which is what I want to learn how to do myself. So practice, do some cool stuff. Right, okay, so, oh, massive pisses. Got one left. Too eager. Right, okay, so. I guess that will go. Hopefully, I can kind of get this all done and squared away. Because once we finish this, and get this off the sausage, and then. Yeah, I was like, 20 quid? 20 quid for a figure? Oh, it's mental. Back in the day when you used to actually be able to go into Toys R Us when Toys R Us still existed. I mourn the loss of Toys R Us. Although it is come back. It's inside some WH Smiths. But it's oh sorry, TG Jew. But it'll never be as peak as it used to be. Right, okay, now we're done. Okay, so let's get the old light brown again. Eins, zwei, drei. Okay. Oh, how come? How come I won't work for you? I managed. I think I was convinced by it was either Dad or a Shark yesterday to give it a go. I was trying to avoid playing the beta. I was like, I don't want my opinions to be ruined by it. Because the betas on the last game were a bit rough. I was convinced by finding that it was public. So I managed to get it downloaded, give it a go. We had 2 matches, and yeah, I liked what I saw. I'm not gonna lie. The beta is actually quite smooth. I wish I could say the same about for my first person skills though. An option in the BIOS is security. Oh shit, it sucks. It's fairly easy to get if you've got a console, but I was quite surprised at how easy it actually was. I just went on Battlefield's website and just selected which console was and automatically opened my app and I downloaded it. Definitely going to have to hone my first person shooting skills though. Provide a nice break from playing War Thunder and Hell Let Loose. See, the problem is, like, somebody said to me once that the older that you get, the worse that you get at first-person shooters because your reaction times get slower. Now, I wasn't really that good anyway, but I died so many times last night. So I'm gonna put it down to the A. I'm just old as shit and I can't play them anymore as much as I used to, or B. It's a new game and I didn't know all the controls and everything. I'm gonna put it down to that latter to make myself feel better. Because I spent ages trying to work out how to put my bipod down, my LMG. Like, what am I doing? Which button do I press? How do I deploy the bipod? Get killed 4 times in a row. Oh, Chris, look at that. Don't you just love it? Kids these days are just too sweaty at games too. That's true. I think I'm quite happy with the peak of my first-person shooting gaming days behind me being the era of Battlefield Bad Company 2, 3, and 4, and 1 as well. I think maybe 1 was the last one I really played a lot of hours in for obvious reasons. Didn't like. Yeah, and that's the important part in it. As long as you're enjoying yourself, because this is the thing. The one thing that I always really like about games like Hell Let Loose and Battlefield is that you don't have to have like loads of kills to be still an important part of the team. You can play like the role of like the medic or the engineer and focus on your subset of skills like building, repairing, or healing, providing ammo, all that kind of stuff, and still just be as valuable. That's what I always end up doing when I'm on Hell at Loose. So I'll go around as like the officer and make sure that my squad, I've always got like a spawn point and that we're near where the action is and the objectives are. And I end up hardly ever firing my weapon, but I end up always coming at the top of the leaderboard with it. Right, okay, so Just quickly back to the old figure build. We've got our pieces there. We've got it nicely masked off. We're now going to go in with the brown wash, which is orange brown. There we go. Oh, Pacific dust. Right, okay, we'll come back to that. So yeah, we'll put like the panel line wash of orange brown so we can try and make the details pop in between the lines a little bit so we can kind of show it off. Just tidy this up. Go. Get that. Right, apologies if I go quiet because I'll be concentrating now. Okay. Uno. Okay. And then once this is done, oh, when did that happen? Oh my god, someone's got garlic bread. Oh, it smells amazing. Okay, there we go. Garlic bread. Right, goodo. Belting. Okay, so that's that done. Put them out to dry for now, and we'll come back to them. Okay, actually. And let's give the old airbrush a bit of clean through. It's getting a bit dirty. Needle. Alright. Yeah, looking okay. Better go in the front of that. Let's clean that off. Get the old brush magic on the go. Okay. Oh shit, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, good shout. That'll be yeah, you'll see what I'm gonna do with that one. Totally forgot about that bit actually. But yeah. How did I do that last time? I remember, sorry, yeah, I remember how I did that last time. I vaguely had an idea in my head how I did it, but I put on the spot, I was like, yeah, I remember now. this is the only downside about when I do commissions for like other figures, I never get to reference back to the ones that are on my shelf because they're always gone. So airbrush cleaner, let's get that through, just make sure it's okay. Yeah, okay, we're good. Right, black vest time. Okay, hold on to your butts. Definitely gonna move these up. Put them up top so there's no danger of overspray because I don't want to get overspray on them. Honestly, Gunga, if you like 3 and 4, you're gonna love Battlefield 6. So, like I said, I managed to get 2 games last night. The mechanics of how the classes are set up are just like 3 and 4. The weapon setups in terms of the different types of weapons that you've got per class are just like 3 and 4. So if you say, for example, you want to run around as a support character, but you don't want to have an LMG, you can go around with a DMR or a carbine. So you can run around with like an M4 carbine or a Mark 17 EMB, and no, it's called Enhanced Battle Rifle, EBR, that's it. Basically the souped up M40. And I was going around with the M249 last night with a mixture of the Enhanced Battle Rifle and the M4 towards the end. And the M4 is the GOAT, I'm not gonna lie. Because the way that they've done some of the mechanics are a bit strange. Like your fire select is done where you have to be aiming down the sight of the weapon in order to change fire mode, as well as deploying your bipod, which was interesting. Okay, so let's go in. Let's do this. Pretty good. Let's check. I'm gonna go over and do like a discoloration pass with a darker blue as well. Yeah, flying through the treetops. There we go. base color and shadow highlights to do now, but I'm going to go over and add darker paths of blue. So with that, we'll do dark pale blue for that one. Wash that out. And I'll get my dirty brush. Whenever I've played like Battlefield, I'm always quite happy to be the guy who's just on the defensive and holds off an objective for a bit once it's been captured. So if we were to say capture Echo, get my old LMG down in the corner. No, I wouldn't say it was. Everybody wants to be able to be doing that, and then you can turn around to your generals and go, "We're out of rockets, sir." Bro did forget he had laser cannons. We're out of rockets, sir. Then use the lasers. Oh shit, yes. Oh, that was easy. It's his first day in the job. Bro's been training his entire life for this. So we've got some uneven colours there, so bits of fading and whatnot. Shadows. Shooting an old man on a speeder bike. Yeah, so you can kind of see, hopefully, the fading that I've done. So you've got the lighter blue, the darker blue, and a bit of the shadow bits, and then also in some areas where it looks like it's quite faded and worn. Looks like an old used jacket, and we'll accentuate that a bit more with some more washes and everything. Do you know what? If George was clever, he would have been like, or if someone had been clever in the Star Wars universe to say, there's like a small story of why that pilot didn't shoot Dooku down, and there is an inhibitor chip that says, "Don't kill Dooku." Or I could just be chatting. Who knows? And also, like, why couldn't the troops just have leaned out the side of the gunship and just been like, "Don't worry, I'll just shoot him down like some sort of like clay pigeon." Another image here. Do not end the war on day one. Yeah, it's an old man on a speeder. It's going to be like the same thing over kicking a fat kid out of a scooter whilst you're driving around in a car. Just do it. It'll be easy. War ended. Pack your bags, fellas. War's over. There we go. Right. Okay. Let's. What's the next bit that we do? Okay. Right. Oh no! I can't jump to get him. Right. Okay. So, sausage. The next bit. Will you shut up out there? Can you guys hear this? Right, the next bit will be to do that yellow pad that's on the shoulder of the flat vest. Which I know what it looks like. Okay. So we'll use the chipping fluid again. So what we'll do is we'll paint that on the corner here, just on where obviously the yellow bit is. We'll let that dry, and then once the chipping fluid's dried by a quick blast of hot air, we will paint it white because obviously it's going to be yellow. Never paint yellow on first because yellow is legitimately the worst color to paint. Right, let me just check the blue Peter one I did. Right, here's one I did earlier. How far did I go? Okay, cool. Yeah. Sorry, one had to remind oneself. So, the brush. Get that done. Right, so we got get the chipping fluid. I'd happily paint yellow over red personally. No, I don't think you're. I don't think you're wrong on that one. I think red is slowly just behind yellow as my hated color to paint because, as I'm sure you're aware, if any bit of red gets on white and runs anywhere, it's a fucking nightmare to tidy up. It stains everything pink. So, as we said yesterday, if you haven't got chipping medium, you haven't got a chipping fluid, you can get the same effect by spraying hairspray in the area that you want to be affected. Just paint that there. But what is your favourite colour to paint then on it? The boy's in blue. Lou's in pain because she loves the goat, Fordo, because she's got a good taste. She paid attention, young Padawan. You know who the goat is. Beb, paint milk Commander Thorn. Beb immediately has a Martin Sheen moment from Apocalypse Now. She is. She is super based. Although her other favorite trooper, go ahead, Lou. What's your other favorite trooper aside from Fordo? I mean, Fordo all the day, all day, every day for me. But I know for a fact that Lou has another one. Right. Okay. Now this is going to be the annoying bit because I remember I had to. I don't think she knows whose comic Gray is. I bet she's upstairs panicking now, going, "God, which one was it? What's he called?" She'll be there going, "I know which one it is, but I can't remember what he's called." Right, okay, so I'm gonna have to master this now. I can't remember if she did actually watch me play Republic Command. No, okay, I had forgotten about it. So, to the viewers watching, Lou refers to Wrecker as Borderlands because she says he looks like Brick from Borderlands, from the original Borderlands, and I've never been able to unsee it, quite frankly. But there is another standard trooper that from the Clone Wars, the CG Clone Wars that she likes as well. But yes, you do like Borderlands. I think the other one that you liked was the Bomb Squad trooper because you liked the orange of it. She does have some good taste. I know you couldn't remember the name. You've got to remember the names of the Bad Batch. It's Tick, Nika, Eco, Hunter. I've got to say it with a Kiwi accent if you're going to say the names properly. Yeah, exactly. I think to be honest, you probably have more of a for the bomb squad troopers. You have more likely of like Vale's clones eventually doing them than Hasbro. Ooh, go on. Now, go on, Lou. Tell the audience. Do you know the difference between Phase One and Phase Two? Remember your training, Padawan. Remember it. No, I wouldn't mind if Vales did them, to be honest. I kind of expect Vales to be able to do all the obscure ones that like Hasbro are never going to do. That's kind of the way I would see it as. Even if like some of them are a bit like slop. Yeah, like gone are the days where Vales was cheap and cheerful, wasn't it? I've still got loads of Vales clones and the 187th Hasbro one. They're in stock, ready to be used for customs. The only downside is they're on the 2.0 body. There's probably still like a few that people are clambering out for. Okay, so well, I'm gonna say based P1 P1 supremacy. Phase 1 superiority all the way. Hold on a minute, mate. Sorry, Bev. I know you like Phase 2, and I don't blame you. I do like Phase 2, but it just can't. It will never beat like that time when little Craig was watching Cartoon Network, and it was the 2003 Clone Wars, and you had the ARC Troopers all hand signals and cool as shit, and even when the bit when they all end up on Yavin before Anakin does his big fight with Asajj. Oh, just Phase 1's just so cool. Okay, so we've got it masked off, ready for the white bit. And we'll go in with a bit of white primer. But question is though, right? So we've decided. I mean, apart from poor Bev, we've decided a Phase 1 supremacy, but clone specialists, like which clone design that is a specialty clone design is the best. You can include Clone Wars designs, Episode 3 designs, ARC Troopers comics. No, they were given a proper rough end of the stick. They'll probably just start making their own stuff up. Unless like people bombard them with like, we need Commander Trauma, we need him. Hold on to your butts. I mean, all right. I set the bar too low. That's easy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I gotta give it to Bev. Gotta give it to Bev. They might do the if they can get the. Have they done the Geonosis clones, the arcs on it? I can't remember if they've done those camouflage ones yet. Because if they've no, they haven't. I was going to say if they manage to crack any of the camouflage ones, that will be on the way. But wasn't I'm sure there was a rumor as well that the Hasbro were doing some sort of like Geonosis based trooper as well. Okay, so let's take this one. See, you have some redeeming qualities, even though you don't appreciate Phase 1 supremacy. The love for the commandos reels it back in. Which, to be fair, come on, that's also Phase 1 as well. Oh, yeah. Technically, they're Phase. Yeah, because we were robbed of the Phase 2 version, which is the Imperial Commando bits. Right. Okay. So we've got the white base laid down, and we'll now try get the paint off with a bit of chipping. So we've got this right. Let's see about chipping the paint off. Going in with okay, yeah, there we go. So you can see how it's just chipping the paint away ever so slightly. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I've got me concentrating face on. The tongue's out, the brain's working. Just get this chipping on. Because the costume paint is chipping off quite easily around the creases. So I'm just going to imitate that. That looks pretty good. So you can see that'll be a good base for the yellow. We'll just give it a bit of a blast of hot air. See that. Bang. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think the second one is because I'm sure there's like a leak of like a part that where looked like it was from the second Battle of Geonosis. Or you'll appreciate this. It's basically a landing point X-ray or landing point, which is we were soldiers in Star Wars. I'm sure they said that that episode of the Clone Wars was based off of that. So just chip that away, and then we'll go over now to dry. Brush off the excess. So I need a big dry brush. No. No. I've seen you. Don't you worry. If we were going to mute people for saying P1 is ugly, there probably wouldn't be many people left. Right. Okay. So white layers down. We'll just brush off the excess, and then we'll go in and we'll do a thin veneer of yellow over the top using Vallejo Air stuff. So let's have a look. Okay, tiny wee bit. Okay, get a bit of water. Go. Okay, here we go. And the blue kind of negates that a lot, which is kind of helpful. Get a Q-tip and wipe off some of the excess on the edge. It's coming along nicely. Dry off, we'll do another layer. Boss all the way. I'm a basic bitch. Did you? It used to be Sev when I was an edgy emo teenager back in the day. But I think everybody does. Thanks, fellas. Definitely. Scotch and Sev, the dynamic duo. Touch up a little bit with the dark blue. Along the edges. Okay, yeah, there we go. And we'll dull this down some more with some more washes. There we go. Yeah, like given all the extra additional parts, doesn't half help make stuff like really come alive, doesn't it? Because like in the game, like they actually all have like modular armor parts that I do different like jobs, if I remember. Because like on the multiplayer, you used to have even more additional attachments. I never really played the multiplayer. I think because I got the game on PC way after it came out, so I missed out on a lot of it. Because I remember a lot of people, because I didn't have an Xbox back in the day, I was Team PS2 all the way, so I had to get it on PC. And the PC that we had at the time was Mega Bobbins. Right, okay, so we're going to focus on doing. We're going to focus on doing the leather work now on the under jacket. So for the leather work, the arms we did NATO brown, so we'll now go and paint that on now. I'm hand painted for the most part. If anybody is wondering what types of airbrushes and whatnot we use, like and subscribe to the channel. We've got a video that talks about the ins and outs of airbrushing and what to start with and what have you. If you were to paint a screen accurate Revenge of the Sith Anakin from scratch, what colour would you paint his glove? I'd have to have a look. Is it like I almost remember the glove being like his glove it's like a leathery black, and it's got like those almost like, is it a gunmetal clasps over the top of it? I need to check the reference material to be 100% certain. And in terms of paints and whatnot, I haven't got a bit of scratch on Clone Custom Troopers with his Dulux paint chart of knowledge of how to mix certain colours in his head. Yeah, like there was that one that had like weird triangles down the side of the helmet as well, which is super weird. So one good thing about the Vallejo air paints is that they are out of the bottle. They are quite watered down and good enough for brush paint straight away. Because that was one of the things that always put me off back in the day before I started doing customs. You'd always see like people doing custom clone troopers, and they post them on like Facebook groups and everything, and you just know that like nobody understood the concept of watering down paints whatsoever. Not that I want to throw a shader out, but you just water dye paints, or at least use air paints. Ooh, Jumbo Sherman. What division? What division are you going to try and do it as? Yeah, it's true. The hitboxes probably did make that a bit too much of a large target. the Jumbo Sherman, maybe is it Third Armour Division, the ones that were first into Bastogne. And I think that Jumbo Sherman was the one that had first into Bastogne, and it was chalked on the side of it. That might be a cool one. Plenty of I mean, that is the go-to bog standard one that everybody does, but it is a cool historical armored vehicle. Oh, cheers, bro. Nice to see you, David. Thanks for popping by, mate. Yes, that's correct. The American Pt3 is the one that I've got like the furthest for the armor stuff. Aside from that, it's all the Royal Air Force and the British Pt3. So I can live out my fantasies of flying Spitfires. One of the guys that I do reenacting with, he's the photographer, Warthog, the Lucky Devil, got to fly in one of the twin-seater Spitfires. I'm so jealous. I'd love to do that. I mean, you can do it. You can pay to do it, but you need like a second mortgage and at least a title from Buckinghamshire, I'm sure. And I don't have that type of disposable income at this point in my life. I can imagine, buddy. I can. Louis has the same problem as well. She manages. Let's get this around here. There we go. And we'll use the viscosity. I think because we're going away on holiday, I was saying to and many times they're confused with red, orange. Yes, you just don't get that confused when you're doing your driving lessons, please, for the love of God. Well, I was happy to do that for you, man. Do you like doing the odd Mando? Coming along nicely. Hopefully, you can see that as it's developing. Because I was saying yesterday, one of the things that when I sculpted this out, I didn't want it to be used to stock Hasbro part underneath because it just make it too poofy and thick. I keep looking at my Airfix shelf above me, and I've got loads of Airfix kits to get through. So. Not to mention, I've got two Bandai Star Wars kits as well. I've got an ATST to do and an X-Wing. The X-Wing one, I'm like, do I want to, when I get around to doing it, do I want to do it as a basic bitch color design, or do I want to try and do it a bit like, a bit unique? And then at some point, I wouldn't mind doing an A-Wing, but do the A-Wing in the color set of the Hasbro Green Leader one. So like Hasbro years ago, they did like the base like A-Wing, but then they did like a special edition one, and it was like an OD green. And I've still got that, and it's on top of my shelf now in the other collection. I just love like the OD green look. to it. It's just so cool. And there's plenty of really cool designs in Star Wars Squadrons as well. But the whole reason that I got into doing figure painting is that I didn't want to be constantly doing bloody vehicles all the time. Like once in a blue moon is kind of fun, but having something character related is much more interesting. So get the leather bits down here, which is the inside of the arms of the jacket. There we go. Uno. Yeah, do that, right? Do that, mate. Send them across. Let's have a look. And also, if you got any more like military builds and what have you, ping them across. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm quite partial to that kind of stuff. There we go. All right. Okay. So. Pleased with that. That's looking all right. Bit of a touch-ups need to do there, so we'll let that dry a minute. Wash me brush. Have some water, and then we'll crack on with that little touch-up. Right, where's my glue? Oh, do you know? Oh, they look sick, mate. Yeah, they look really cool. I love the mismatch looks of the new Mandos. I always think that looks pretty cool. But I also like I love like the old lore for Boba Fett back in the day when it was like Boba Fett's armor was like he collected old relics of Mandalore and he would either get paid in like credits or like Mandalorian pieces of armor or artifacts. And I kind of miss that aspect is kind of gone now. Right. Okay, so we're done with that. That's the next bit we'll focus on. We've got all the straps to do. And now I think they've got to be done in different colours. Let's have a look, shall we? Yes, because if you remember, the straps coming down from like these ammo pouches are like a light brown colour, as well as the webbing across. And then the back ones were like a darkery brown kind of colour. Yeah. So we'll start with the light brown. Okay. Do them ones on the ammo pouches. Oh, is that your Apo? Yeah. Yeah, he looks cool with the ammo bandolier and the hologram. Well, I say the pauldron and ammo bandolier. The Apo from the comics. Okay, so let's go and do do an initial pass layer on that. Okay, just focus on the straps. I think I might need to break out my goggles. Bit by bit. Coming along nicely. All in greater service of the Empire. Thank you for all your support, though, man. I really appreciate it. Like, literally every little. I'm not. I promise I'm not Tesco, but every little does help. The more like we can keep doing this, the more projects we can keep going. Hopefully, make people's collections a bit more expansive. Okay, so whilst let's do these side ones. Nice one. I'll give you a sneak peek of him. The security droid. I've got him up there. There he is. The old security droid. So happy with it. He's got like flex joints, so they're quite stiff, but they're not gonna like break it. So you can still move them around and whatnot, pose them up. And I've even managed to get him so that you can have him flex at the waist. His knees are a bit disjointed, but that's because I had to get it to have them flex around. I'm gonna try and make another blaster for the store as well at some point. That's more akin to the kind of blaster that you see them using on the Ebon Hawk. Because this one at the minute is the Sith Trooper blaster that I've got, and it still works. But I want to try and get the other one modeled out. And at some point, I am going to need to write up an instruction manual for him, so that when people get the kit, they know how to put the different parts together and whatnot. Because it is it's like a Bandai model kit. So if you know how to do those, you'll have not much of an issue with this. Oh, I love that. That shock troop is cool. See, that's the thing. Shock troopers. I will say this: as much as I know Beb hates red, the shock troopers are the best looking ones from episode 3. That's cool. Okay, let's have a look. Getting pinged messages by Indeed saying, "Have you tried being a footwear designer?" No, I have not. No, do I? I do not. Have I tried being a Black Series designer? Not yet, but would I like to? Yes, I would. Oh, I've oopsied. Oopsie doopsie. That's fine, we can touch it. If the camera just shakes, that just bangs my head on it. I want to get that Knights of the Republic droid on the workbench at some point. Get him all up there with some metallic paints, proper shiny. Because somebody in the house loves droids. Yeah. I've had to tell you, we can't afford to house an actual real life-size R2 unit or K2SO in the house, much to your dismay. Although if we were to have a life-size droid, it would be Chopper. Because I want my sassy droid ready to commit war crimes in the corner. Or maybe a BD1. But sassy war crimes droid? Come on. Who doesn't want a sassy war crimes droid? Also, how have we not had like a comic or something where K2SO and Chopper meet? It literally will be the last bit once we get this vest done. That's true. The immovable object and the unstoppable force teaming up against the Empire would be over. What's everybody working on today? I know, Shark, you were saying you were trying to do your Jumbo Sherman today. Harrowing, I would say. All those poor Imperials just doing their job. Okay. A Night Ops Commando. Interesting. Is that the all black ones? We had Clone Trooper Dada in the chat yesterday, and he was doing a commando as well. He was doing Scorch yesterday. Nice. I mean, it helps that the music sets the mood for making commandos. It was either this or NASA Republic Ambience, which I do have loaded into StreamYards. So at some point we'll use that. I don't think that the Republic Commando soundtrack is going to be copyright claimed on YouTube because there is that many videos of it being used. You never know. I'm getting there, bit by bit, slowly but surely. Yeah, that is the crate. My mum goes mad for that. Highland Keys. Highland Keys. Do you know what's even crazy? Lou's upstairs right now doing a paint by numbers of a Highland Key. 100% is the new craze. Everywhere's got to have a Highland Key. They are cute, to be fair, though. Who doesn't love a Highland key? How far along is your Highland cow painting, Lou? Now that you've said that, I'm going to be going everywhere and going, oh my god, there's Highland cow stuff everywhere. Shit, there you go. There you go. Lou, let's pay attention. Beb's pointed us in the direction. That's what we can get my mum for her birthday. Let's get us some oven mitts with Highland cues on it. Or some gardening gloves or something. To be fair, we went into Morrison's the other week and there was just Highland cow stuff in there, but I didn't really pay much attention to it. But now that you said it, I guarantee that next time I go anywhere, I won't be able to unsee it. Oh no. We found a furniture-wise shop, and we found the other day a website where you can get acrylic frontages for Billy bookcases, because my collection's on Billy bookcases, and the biggest pet peeve that I have with Billy bookcases is obviously if your collection's on them, it just gets dusty, and you spend hours dusting the figures. So I always wish they had like glass doors on them. But this website, I think for 34 quid, you can have these pre-cut, pre-supported acrylic fronts, like plastic acrylic. So you can have like almost like a glass in front of them. So I think I'm gonna save up and get them on the way, and that way I can say adios to spending hours upon hours and hours dusting up the figures. If you need the link or anything, let me know. Because they've got like ones that you can have little frames around the edge of them, so that different colours like black, white, red, orange, yellow, all that kind of stuff. Or you can just have it as like clear plastic. It's pretty cool. Right, okay, so we're getting there with these straps along the side, but I'm about to put some more Vallejo paint on because the latex and the paint has started drying out, so it's become more clumpy. Nice. Thank you very much. Let's have a look at it later on. I'll have to start firing up the printers later on. Get everything done. Right, okay. Do one last pass on the front straps. Messed up a bit there, but it's fine. Neating it up with a bit of blue. We don't make mistakes, we make happy accidents. You know, sometimes that's true, sometimes that ain't true, especially when your airbrush like spits everywhere and goes. Right, so there we go. Oh no, I forgot. I've got this one up here to do as well. Okay. Switch the B52 PlayStation Pro on in a minute. Okay, I'll give the blaster pot air to dry out. Over the second layer now. I'd buy that for $1. Right, okay. That's that. PlayStation is getting turned on. Make sure that's good. And now we've done that, we'll go and do the bottom straps. So the bottom straps are slightly darker than the khaki webbing that was used. So we'll go in and we'll use, I think, yeah, that's the same. Let's double just to be sure, Yeah, okay. I think I'm going to have to use Oh, look at that. Look at those Shermans. They look nice. I like the one with the stowage that you've got on that one, Shark. That looks good. Because the thing is that the tanks they're properly lived in. They're not like clean and everything. They've always got like crap all over them. Right, okay. Sorry, I'm just putting some music on. Nice. Sorry, it's just the best tank of all. Love it. Yeah, okay, that's all of that. So let me know if the audio is still okay. My headphones have died. Let's get that in there. Get the back web straps painted with like a first pass. And then we'll dry it off. Go with a second pass. There we go. Go in there. Add a bit more water to it. Yeah. Again, it's all those little extras that you put onto it that just make it just really pop. I've got is it an M36 Jackson that I've still in the box, still left to do. Loads of parts on that one. Okay. Let's just put in there. Spreading the paint across the surface. Okay, so got about half an hour left. I think at half 7 we'll call it a day for the stream. I'll continue to do bits of work later on, which means I'll probably end up finishing the rest of this off screen, but you'll be able to see the end finished result, because I gotta get some to eat. And then at half 7, I think it's out of the basement, son. Get the underside of the straps done. Nice. I hope you have fun doing it, my dude. So we're getting there, bit by bit, slowly but surely. I think at some point in the stream I'll need to, it might be a good idea to stream doing a head sculpt paint, and everyone can see how long those things take. And then if you ever feel brave enough, give it a go as well. I always feel super nervous about like doing head sculpts, because there's been so many times where I've like started a head sculpt and I've got halfway through it and I've just been like, nah, don't like that, starting again. Get the old brush magic, strip all the paint off, start again. Because there's nothing I hate more than like keep on going just for the sake of it. I don't blame you. It's always painting the eyes that's always the most nerve-wracking. So you'd have to look for paint guides. You'd have to have a look for which paint guide I could from American Army. So you'd have to look at which division that you're gonna do, because not all the American armor is painted the exact same. Some divisions have their own individual color scheme. For example, Second Armored, they have this kind of color scheme where it's like an olive drab baseline. So most of the Allied tanks are all olive drab, but they say things like Second Armored have camouflage pattern on them. And because if you're going to do the same as Fury, the film tank Fury, I think it's like a flat color, like a dark OD. But the wartime ones might be slightly different and have a camouflage pattern that's like a base olive drab with a dark olive, almost like not so much black, but much darker olive drab, hexagonally painted on top of it. I did an M5 Stuart a couple of years ago in Second Armored colours, mainly because it was a tank that was in the area that we went to in 2019 in Belgium. Okay, we're getting there bit by bit by bit. you could obviously go in with just the. You could go in. So if you go in with the U.S. Army olive drab, you could put that one down first, and then you could darken it by doing washes and stuff afterwards. Or you could obviously have individual patterns which are a bit darker and lighter than others. Do you brush paint everything when you're doing your paint work, or have you got an airbrush and whatever, or are you using rattle cans? Oh, okay. Just had another happy accident. See, I'm learning. Don't know how to hand paint or even dreams or that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's fair. So, if you're brush painting, yeah, just do several layers of your base olive drab, and then if you want to darken certain areas or lighten certain areas, try adding some washes that way. But if you're looking to replicate the Fury tank, which is the Easy 8, I think there's plenty of good references for that on the Tank Museum's website down in Bovington. Hey Lou, can we go to the Tank Museum when we go on holiday next couple of weeks? Nine cringe. Good, yes. Yeah, I would say what's actually pretty good. Lou brings home to me some magazines that you can get from W.H. Smith's, and they're pretty expensive magazines, but she's got brought home some aircraft ones, and they have loads of really cool paint scheme references. Wondering if there's like an allied version of that online somewhere you could have a look at. Okay, we're getting there. Come on. To be honest with you, the way that this is going, yeah, this figure's going to get done today. That's for sure. 100% going to get finished today. It's probably not going to finish up the rest of the tiny bits on stream, but we'll get this finished today, and then I'll be on to the next figure build, which is I won't drop too many hints just yet, but we've got the 3D parts sculpted apart from one bit, and then I've got to print them, and it'll be a case of making a start with that one. Yeah, that is true. It is. All the tiny wee little bits that add up to make the big bits really good. Just get the top layer out. This is always the bit that I hate doing. Top layer. Got to do some work after this. Once I finish the figure build today, I've got to go and do some work for Luke at Clone Custom Troopers. It's done really cool ATRT repaint. So I'm going to make him some decals for that later on, as well as a few other little bits and bobs to help him out. And that'll be on his way to him down there. Not to mention firing up the printers, start doing print plates, and then start stressing and getting angry at why inevitably something's not printed correctly. Ah, oh, thanks, Beb. He's a good egg, is that Luke? He's a good egg. Keep meaning to try and meet up with him again, because we met up, I think it was last year or the year before, and I keep saying to him I'll meet up with him and show him around Duxford. Okay. Right, I think that's looking pretty good. I need to neaten some bits up there. So I get my dark blue on the go. Yeah, by all means, my man. Keep me up to date with that stuff. Have you ever tried doing the Tamaya figures as well? The little 1/35 stuff? That on the go. think I'm gonna have to blend this in somehow. Get some washes on the go to try and hide where the touch-ups are. Oh god, once. Yeah, definitely give it a go. Like if you're hand painting everything, you can get your tomato figures base painting them black, then go over with a dedicated dry brushing brush, like these ones. You can get these from places like Elemental Games and GameStop, and they're just like little stubby little brushes, and you can just dry brush all the raised areas with white, and then you can go over and do some glazing passes to get those baked in shadows. I did that when I did my 104th Infantry Division little figurine that I did after I came back from the Netherlands. Okay, I know I messed up something on. Yeah, I did. Okay, try and power through actually. Because we are getting there. Yeah. So we've got the straps done. There's a bit of brown on it. So where's my NATO brown? Yep, there we go. Bit of the NATO brown on the go. Touch up the leather jacket work a bit. Okay, yeah. Can't see anything else. Yeah, that might work. When I was looking at the references for the security droid, it is very much like there's a mix and match of different types of metal work with him. So you might benefit of having a bit of like bit of like an ivory metal, bit of proper steel or aluminium kind of color. I think I might use him when I paint mine as a test bed for doing different aluminium shades, because you can do that for like I've seen when people do like B-17s, they'll base a lot of it black gloss, because if you base something a black gloss, it helps the metallic layer on top look a lot more shiny. So I'm thinking about doing most of the panel lines like a black gloss, then the odd like individual panel with a base of like a matte white, and in that way when you put the the metallic paint on top of it, it'll give like the mismatched color faded look. Obviously when you do it for like aircraft, like aluminium skin aircraft, that's where like the paint's like faded and they put different panels and swapped them over and everything. So I'm thinking you can try and do the same for the security droid, because then, you know, like a lot of things in Star Wars, they're never like squeaky clean, are they? They're always a wee bit dirty. Okay, I think we could probably power through, maybe get this done. I've just bloody rubbed a bit of the paintwork off on that one. Like a dipstick. Let's try and get this finished, shall we, on stream so everybody can see it done. I think I'm not that far off actually, so let's crack on, power through. Right, so we've got a few touch-ups on the side there. Let's get my light brown to go in. No, it's well worth invested. Good paint amounts are always going to be helpful to help you build. Yeah, it does. Once we've done the paintwork, we'll start going in and doing washes, so we can help accentuate some of the detailing. But it's best to get all the paintwork done first, and then the washes help stuff really pop out. So whenever I do troopers, I always do a light grey wash. And I think I'll do something similar with this as well. Thank you very much, buddy. It'll hopefully be on the way to you very soon. Because as you can see, we're not that far off now. Oh, Blue's just fell over upstairs. Okay. Right, so we want to go in and do the buckles next. So the buckle work, we've got these ones, and there is another one hidden somewhere, isn't there? Yeah, these ones at the bottom here. So we'll go in and we'll do like a black for those. So we'll use Green Stuff World's Black Stallion for that. And I will get, I need a fine brush for that. Yeah, that'll do. Get a bit of water on it. Right, okay, let's go in. We'll start with this, because, shit. Yeah, there's a buckle colour there. And we'll do a bit of a dry brushing of the metal work. There we go. Best of luck, mate. Thank you very much for popping around. Really appreciate it. And yeah, it's been fantastic to chat to you, buddy. Thanks for showing up, and hope you have a good time in the shed, lad. Let's get that in there. Yeah, I think so. I think it's meant to be like some sort of like rank or communication patch, yeah. That's going to be done in gunmetal. We can consult the guide. Maybe they actually gave us a few extra details in the old Rogue One visual dictionary. Try and focus. Paint those areas. Because we have to make the clip sculpt exaggerated so it's easy to paint. And it's not easy to paint like this either. It's one of them things, isn't it? It's like it just looks cool. It's like the Star Wars Greebles kind of thing. Just stick a Greebly on it and it looks cool. It's called a comms badge. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna have to go get something to eat. So what we'll do is we'll call it there for today, and I'll get the last little bits of this done, squared away. There we go. Wonderful. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks very much for everyone for coming around. We'll get the last bits of this done and dusted. I'm gonna have to get something to eat, and we'll get the last bits of us. So look out on the Instagram for the final reveal of the completed figure, which will be later today. And thank you very much for coming around, and we'll see you in the future streams with the next figure build. Thanks, guys. See you soon.